That'll be about 45 seconds behind it.
Omnidirectional.
Yeah, this is...
And the goal is to bring you your next favorite band.
Sweet, that intro is my new favorite band. That's phenomenal. I'm so excited to be on.
Yeah. I heard a rumor that you might be able to play that song live today.
You heard correctly. Yes.
Excellent. So,
good enough for rock.
I don't know when I rock out here on your next favorite band and show.
And listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band.
Phil, you weren't supposed to make me get all... God almighty,
but this
Phil.
is why we do it.
Like, seriously. I gotta gather myself. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot, up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar.
Tonight, live from Bonn Place Brewing in South Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, we have our NextFavBands and Best of the Fest highlights from Musikfest 2024.
Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be
Your next favorite band. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Philip Reese.
Hello, and I am David Moore, your co-host.
And we have a guest co-host.
I am your next favorite podcaster. I gotta go close the window.
Samuel, go ahead. Do what you need to do.
Chris! Oh, shit.
We're, just for context, we are at an actual operating brewery, which is, well, we're inside. Outside there's a whole lot of rain coming down, and they have a walk-up window that he is dealing with right now. So
Yes.
that changed his appearance quickly, so it was a cameo. I hope you all enjoyed that. He may be back. He may not be.
It's coming down sideways here, and this is in honor of Musikfest. It's very apropos.
It is on point. It is, if you will, a reenactment.
And it's also a good advertisement for Bonn Place. They have an outdoor window for you to walk up and purchase beer.
Look, walk-up beer service is about as greatest invention on the face of the earth. I got fire, I got wheel, I got walk-up beer service. I mean, maybe beer first. I gotta have beer before I have walk-up beer service.
Third place seems pretty good for beer. Fire and wheel.
You can live off beer if we do our math correctly.
There's truth to that. There's a literal monsoon going on outside right now. When we hit play on this live stream,
it was not raining.
And then all of a sudden.
So we're inside and it won't be wet here.
Correct.
Though if we do lose everybody, that's because we also lost power.
True. Yeah, that could happen. But
let's talk about Musikfest.
We're going to take our chances. But here comes Sam Masoto.
Hey, everybody.
Hi.
Pardon the interruption.
Yes,
PTI. We're living in Orlando, Florida.
Correct, all of a sudden. Or at Musikfest, because it was highly rainy this year.
That's what we just mentioned. This is a pretty good reenactment of what happened in the first weekend of Musikfest particularly.
So appropriate, but I feel like years past there was more... Well, there were more nights closed this year.
Yes.
More cancellations, it seems.
Yep.
But there's been worse flooding.
Oh, for sure.
As a result of these.
This had a threat of that hurricane that ended up actually not impacting too much. There was a rainy night with no thunderstorms, so it didn't impact the festival. And then it flew out of the area and made Friday, Saturday, Sunday gorgeous.
On the second weekend.
On the second weekend.
Well, on the second
So it was the impending doom of that that I think was more the impact this year that actually wasn't a thing. I feel like this was a pretty average, normal year. Like, as far as it all kind of tracked out, one night got washed out, a couple other delays and cancellations, but ultimately 7.5 days of awesome. And then some rain.
Well, it was great when they canceled the country concert because the band came here And unbeknownst to everybody, did a no.
I just thought they came in and drank beer.
No, truly though, that where I was going with that, and then turned it, is that we were, of course, slam packed at that point. 'Cause
Sure.
everybody's like, where can I get a beer?
Right.
In the middle of this.
Out of the sadness
Right.
of not having Musikfest
I'm sure they
happen.
were excited about that over there.
You know, yes, I totally get where you're going with that one. But thank you to Sam for letting us. This is our 3rd year doing this highlight show here.
3 people.
Yes.
We're almost to the point of getting a free sandwich.
We don't even make sandwiches.
The punch card.
Oh, but by the time we get to 10, who knows what'll be happening?
Remember when you had the COVID rule around, like you had to serve food, and so you had peanut butter and jelly sandwiches?
Sure.
They were damn good.
Pre-meal peanut
They
butter
are-
and jelly sandwiches.
Often referred to by me as the best in the world.
I mean, by definitions of world
That would
at
be-
best. That
If
are,
on the website it said best peanut butter and jelly sandwich - Sam Masoto, that would be a good move.
It may have said that. I routinely
Quote
know,
yourself.
I know that person to do that. What a troll.
But so, thank you so much for letting us do this. It's a great spot for it. This year, it was kind of open for people to come down and kind of join in the fun. So it's not too late. We'll probably be at this till about 9:30. The place is open till 10. We're also spinning. If you hear in the background, it's actually Hotel Fiction. Everything you're going to hear on vinyl in the tap room tonight is actually people who have been on the show before. So we've interviewed Hotel Fiction, and the vinyl will be spinning all night, and then the actual live stream of the show is up on the wall there on the projector. So it's fun. Come on down and join us.
Well, thanks for that plug too. It is Bring Your Own Vinyl Night.
Correct.
Right?
Every
So,
Wednesday.
Every Wednesday.
Every Wednesday. Bring your own vinyl. It's a lovely experience.
BYOV.
WC, baby.
I thought you were going to play Weezer next.
No, When Doves Cry.
Okay.
Yeah, or Van Halen. We're going all in on different things at this point. in time.
Winger.
But so tonight
Wow,
is
she's only 17, by the way.
Winger probably is going to get booked next year at Musikfest. It's about time. But we got some good people tuning in here. We have Logan saying, great to see you all. Michael is here saying, checking in from Feasterville, Pennsylvania. Please let us know if you're out there. Also let us know if you attended the festival, who your kind of music discovery was. Hashtag NextFavBand, hopefully. We would love to hear that. We're going to share ours. And if there was any other kind of favorite moments, food, song, performance, band, whatever.
Rain moment.
Rain, shelter. I had a great cocktail. The rain forced me into actually 313 and just had a wonderful time being sheltered from the rain. So
Piccolini or
it was, yes. It's super dope. But anyway, so we're going to get into it here. If you stick around for this, because I think you're going to like this. Get the hook. Get the hook out. So
This is better.
we just want to get to the highlights because we have 25 different kind of little clips to share with you all. And basically, what was amazing about this year's festival was the thing to starting. This is a problem. The opening performance was so on preview night. So we call it Day Zero. It's the Thursday before the festival even starts. And there's a headliner and some free shows, but it's kind of like not even really the actual festival is happening. There's going to be more drinks and beverages and
Phil, I want to know more about Day Zero. I don't want to know about drinks.
and coasters.
Day Zero is a zombie film or a science fiction novel, depending on which way we want to talk about it.
Right.
Well, in the Funhouse on Thursday before Musikfest, it's both.
It's both.
Well, valid point.
Probably most of the year even. But anyway, so there was a musician playing that night we were looking forward to. They were on Patrick Brogan's list.
Correct, and we talked about the background of their collaboration with the headliner for that night, because the reason the preview happens is typically built around a headliner.
Yes.
The festival does not guarantee that there's a preview night.
Right.
But if there's a headliner that can only play that Thursday.
Right.
Well, now there's a preview night.
Yeah. So the on the free stage. So this had nothing to do with the headliner, but they're connected to the headliner, which we talked about. But in essence, they're their own brilliant performer in and of themselves.
Sure.
And became, in fact, on social media, we were asking people today, like, who was their favorite performer. This was theirs. Hannah Wickland kicked this thing, the whole festival off in a way that was like absolutely on steroids and, just at 1,000 miles an hour.
It's a boot kick to the crotch of rock and roll.
Correct. So she came out. She came out and basically picked up her guitar. This trio that she's a part of started to play, and it ended up being a 12-minute guitar solo to start the set into her biggest known song, "Bomb Through the Breeze." So after 7 or 8 minutes of it, of just, I'm giddily smiling to myself. And again, this is like the start of Musikfest, and I'm like, holy smokes, is this a great way to start it? I finally took my phone out and was like, all right, I gotta capture some of this. So here is a sliver. She's already changed guitars. So she came out with one guitar, did a 7 or 8 minutes with that bad boy, threw that one down, picked up a different one, strapped that one on, and kept going while the band was just playing. So this is already guitar number 2. So enjoy Hannah Wickland doing an absolutely insane solo into "Bomb Through the Breeze." She could have just said, "Thank you, everybody, good night," and we all would have been thoroughly pleased and satisfied. And
it kept going.
It kept going.
This is where you need the Homer Simpson soundbite of, I can see why this is so popular. Because now I'm like, damn, I don't do this.
Right. Yeah, so the reference that I made to the headliners is she is, I don't know which member of
Prince's band.
Greta Van Fleet, she is dating.
Okay.
They recorded, they were the rhythm section for her album.
Right. And so, I mean, this was just, like you saw there, what I love about this too, as a sidebar, is she's blowing up all sorts of preconceived notions of girls playing guitar. She's barefoot. I mean, like, just all of these things that when she walked out, I bet you many people were like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden she just hopefully shattered anybody's biases, because she absolutely is one of the greatest guitarists I've ever seen, and put on an absolute display of complete and utter excellence. Like, it was just. And then when this was just the first 15.
And what is the band called?
Just Hannah Wickland.
Ah, sick. Okay.
It's her name, yeah.
Big time. Well, I mean, just with the kick drum the way it was and everything, it pulls a little bit from a lot of places. But I really was picking up sort of that Prince vibe, a little bit of that Hendrix, especially experience.
Yeah, I mean, it's to me, there's all sorts of Hendrix notes all over that, and a bit of Stevie Ray Vaughan thrown in all over it. And
The motif, especially, but within their own right.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
Sick.
like I said, totally amazing way to start the whole festival. And then a preview, a spoiler or whatever, the closing performer was equally as dynamic. So it was bookended by my two favorite performers, who started it and who ended it.
Sick.
And then there's amazing ones in between. I can't wait to share all of these different highlights from the festival. Bye, Pam.
Did you? Goodbye, Pam.
Yeah.
Did your next favorite bartender show up, by the way?
Yes.
So am I to switch out? Is Robert coming in?
No. Well, he's welcome to join too, but you're welcome to stay as long as you'd like as the host.
I'm the host.
Yeah.
Oh.
We're all hosts.
Who's the parasite?
Oh, that is well played.
That is a very well played.
No, but I didn't realize I was hosting. I really did just walk onto the set.
Yeah, well, I believe that's Johnny Carson's story.
So
I'm just here to play golf.
Yeah.
it's a brief. I'm going to say so. Restream, who we use for our the streaming of this whole endeavor, just recently changed its interface, and now when I bring a video in, it starts playing it right away. It used to just bring it in and then I could hit play. So forgiveness for that kind of stuff. But let's see here. Very Steve Vai vibes with the bends in 12 minutes. And then Megan brings in, what beer are we all having? I'm having Scooch. David, what are you having?
I just had maybe one day the alt beer here at Bonn.
You made a really clever joke when you ordered it.
I know I did.
Yeah.
I know.
You want to share it with the class?
Does it have to be made in the context of ordering the beer, or do I have to explain the whole joke?
Part of the reason why it's named that has nothing to do with that, but it's a perfect little sort of anecdotal.
Oh well, I said that maybe one day they'll make an alt beer, and because it's a more of an oddball style of beer to make. So I said that as the name, that it was sort of my tribute to small style beers.
Do you want to know maybe one day will be your next favorite alt beer?
I mean, I don't have a whole lot of comparison, but
I do like the constant
Alaskan Amber.
branding. The repeat branding is lovely.
Well, so maybe one day the tremendously boring story about it is I've never actually been to Dusseldorf or Bonn, Germany, despite the name of the brewery.
Right, and so you made it.
Maybe one day I'll go and drink alt beer in Dusseldorf.
when we blow up big and we have the next we. You notice it's a collective pronoun here.
I'm a host now.
Right. I mean, look what
That's
you
correct.
just did. Look what you just did.
You're
By the
no
way,
longer
I'm
a parasite.
It's
So let's talk about this for one quick second. So when it comes to Musikfest, you're not a festival goer.
No, it's tough for me. My bias lies in my preferences, and of course, being not being a fan of heat, crowds, or loud. It acts up my.
So music festivals are not your favorite thing?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Any of them.
I mean, that makes sense.
So-
My wife does not go either.
Sure.
I mean, you will not find Catherine at any of these get-togethers.
Yeah. So Catherine and I are here in the air conditioning,
Right, exactly.
drinking Mooey.
Christy as well.
Wait, that may have been the case the whole time? Is that what you're saying? She's like, I'm home with the kids.
I love August.
Yeah.
No, it's not wonderful for this business. I do understand the appeal of it. Again, I can see why this is so popular. It's just really tough for me.
Sure.
I had a nice Musikfest experience this year. I was walking across the bridge. Actually, I was texting with Dylan. He was at the Sugar Ray concert.
Okay.
And I went to the cemetery on North Side.
Right.
And I stood at the edge. I mean, not spoiler alert, but don't sleep on sitting in the cemetery and listening to a show.
Oh, the north side to the main stage.
Yeah.
Whiskey Hill, yeah.
Is straight up sound wise.
Yeah.
Is a very solid experience.
You're in Red Rocks
Yeah.
or some sort of amphitheater.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I did have a really nice experience walking across the bridge, and when the vibe, when the energy is good, the juice is good. You squeeze, you drink. But in general, I do have
Milkmaids everywhere.
I do have great memories of Musikfest. However, I was very happy to just be here primarily, and of course, multifunctional. It's not my favorite thing, and that sort of ends up reflecting in business practice. But hey, it's cool. It happens. I'm not going to stop it. If I were going to stop anything in this town, it's parking authority.
Hashtag parking authority.
Not Musikfest.
But so, talking about a good vibe, the Groove Merchants, they were founded locally, they're now basically Philly-based. They've started to develop a little bit of a tradition here of opening up Musikfest. So what we just watched was that preview night, and like we said, it's if a headliner can only do that night, it's not the festival wide open, it's only South Side, it's only the Levitt stage and the paid stage.
Nice.
But on the opening night, the Friday night,
They did the City Hall or?
Groove Merchants, yes, at that Stockplot stage, which is right where the public library is.
As Sam just said, the City Hall. It's across. It's in
City
the
Hall
plaza
stage.
that's between City Hall and the library and the public garden that's there. Things like that.
So their tradition now has been to really pull out the 9-piece. So it's the Hammond organ, it's backup singers,
Horn
it's
section.
horns, and then their full-on thing. So here's their song, Hold Your Hand by the Groove Merchants, and bathe in the awesomeness of a 9-piece.
I love you to the point you cannot say. Why won't you let me hold your hand?
I just love the way that.
Look at that backdrop. That's insane. Best view, the best stage with the best view.
And it's going to come up.
That is true.
It is. It's the best stage with the best view. Yeah. It's going to come up a bunch more times because it's definitely one where a lot of the best of the fests happen.
That perspective of Bethlehem coming over the bridge sometimes, you're like, for a moment, you could be in Spokane, Washington, but you could be in Frankfurt, Germany.
Totally.
With the church steeple.
Well, you wonder why they founded the city there. Where they went like this.
Feels like home.
We got here. Let's just start building.
Yeah. But great music. Love the Groove Merchants, and they really have had a tendency to really kind of kick off the festival right.
And anybody that doesn't know the Groove Merchants, if you're a fan of soul music, check them out. That's the easiest way to describe what you're getting into with the Groove Merchants, if the name itself doesn't let you know what you're getting into.
Absolutely. So here, this is going to start, so I got to remember to hit pause. The next one we're going to bring up was later that evening, Jack Wharf and the Tobacco Flats. So a couple things about them. They are from Virginia. They joined us during our live stream, the daily live streams at Godfrey Daniels. So for those of you who may not know, the every day of Musikfest at 3 o'clock, we go live from Godfrey Daniels. They're dark that week, obviously because of the festival. So they let us kind of set up shop, and then we talk about our 5 picks of the day, the weather, if it's needed to be talked about, and then we bring on 1 or 2 guests. So Jack Wharf and the Tobacco Flats came on that opening day a couple hours before their set, which was super cool, and it was great to meet them. They're wonderful people. Then when we walked up to their stage, they had a crowd around them, and they had such a great energy about them. Now here was the thing. When they showed up, they said, hey, Jack can't play anything because he's starting to get a cold, and we don't want him to use his voice here at Godfrey's. He needs to save it for later on tonight. Totally had, obviously,
reasonable,
massive respect for that. Now, what I will tell you is, as his set went on, you could just tell his voice was going. He did not stop for a second. He kept singing, and the energy was there, and you could just tell his vocals weren't where he wanted them to be, but it was still such an amazing performance. So I want to play this, even though it may not be his favorite version of it, but the fact that he gutted it out and performed and had such an amazing set in the middle of him probably feeling like a pile of dog crap really is a testament to him and, kind of the energy of Musikfest. So here's his song. It's a beautiful ballad called Tulips and Roses. So beautiful song here by Jack and the Tobacco Flats. Really, really enjoyed their energy, loved their music. This song on Spotify or on streaming services is an all acoustic song. So it was cool to hear like a full band version of it, but that was the song that, as I was doing research for Musikfest, really grabbed me and said, Jack Wharf and Tobacco Flats are going to be a special show, and they sure were.
And check out the interview from the live stream.
Yeah. What's that?
Is that a Fender Jaguar? Or is
it is a Jaguar.
Okay, it's not a Jazzmaster. I thought for a second he was playing a baritone.
It's a Jaguar. Yeah.
That's exciting.
So if he was playing a baritone, that'd be.
Yeah. Do you remember the Jazzmaster?
Yeah, I mean, actually, I think there should be more baritone guitars in rock.
You guys did a live stream from there.
He did.
From Godfrey Daniels.
Just for a little context, so Phil every day of Musikfest does a big shot of cocaine right before the day starts.
Holy smoke!
And then I'm not supposed to say that out loud, right? And then, so in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, we have a small listening room venue.
No chemicals.
There's no chemicals.
Purely musically
He's
funded.
driven by the music. It is a small listening room venue that's called Godfrey Daniels. It's the second oldest listening room of this style in the United States.
Yep.
During Musikfest, they do not book shows for obvious reasons, as the rest of the city is full of free shows. And Phil gets the opportunity to use that venue to hold a live stream daily that runs about 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
That you often have guests on, like this, where you interview them, and you have updates. Sometimes it's musicians, sometimes it's local people that were part of Musikfest, such as members of Arts Quest, which is the organization that puts on Musikfest.
And so, this is something from that. So there was, I would bring this up that day. And I would tell you, our two favorites today are Dirty Dollhouse and Groove Merchants. And then we also recommend you check out New Enemies, Fleece, Jack Wharf, Tobacco Flats, and Robert John and the Wreck. So that was from the first Friday. And so we bring that on. I'll bring clips on of every one of those performers. And then, like David said, we'll bring on a guest or two who stop by. And it's a fun time. And so highlights of those are going out. Obviously the evergreen nature of the interview is great. What the weather was and who to go see that day doesn't really last. So we're slowly editing them and kind of combining them so that maybe the interview portion could be viewed by people who didn't see it in real time. So keep a lookout for that. But a couple of them are already out there. Blair Crimmins and the Hookers, we'll talk about them later. The Amish Outlaws, who were an amazing interview. And then we released the ones with like Ramona Labar, Kyle Edwards. Of Godfrey Daniels.
Right.
And Craig Larimer, who we talked about before.
Craig, that's Scouser. I guess this is my next favorite podcast in that case.
That's right. 100%. So the next day, so now we're moving into the first Saturday. Here we have the other element of Musikfest, obviously live performances. Sometimes people want to bring out like a really special cover song. And so, as you know, if you pay attention to this show, we're not crazy about tribute bands, but if a live performing, kind of original music performing band brings in a kick-ass cover, that's super fun.
Also, we have a game that we play during Musikfest
And we have a game.
For covers. So you get to pick a band and a song by that band.
Right. And so we pick a band that you're going to get to develop points for, and an under the radar like deep cut track that if anyone plays that song, you just win.
That's not from a tribute band.
Phil was here last night, and the Smiths came on.
Yes.
And we started talking about some deep cuts from the Smiths.
Right. That's a good example. So I picked the Beatles, which would be a not deep cut band ever. I mean, I concede that point. But I did pick Taxman by the Beatles.
Right, so your winning song was Taxman.
Yeah.
But I do think you won.
I mean,
oh, did you really do that? You really won.
Yeah, I won because of the Beatles.
Of points, But this was a beautiful one.
like
so, friends of the show.
3 points,
I was gonna say, what's that thing they do every year with which celebrity's gonna die? And you pick.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say the person who directed Spaceballs, but
yeah, exactly. The math says
it can happen. So anyway, Pepperwine, early guests of the show, we're super big fans of theirs. They dropped "Eminence Front" by The Who.
Yeah, so somebody picked that.
This would have been a beautiful way to win. Check out "Eminence Front" by Peppermint. Great choice by them. That's a really high quality.
Did anybody pick that
cover song? No,
we are now.
But you really now you can't because they do it. That's part of the rules of the game.
I think Phil paid them to do that so that he could
I didn't pick it. Had I picked
I'm calling
sure.
Franklin's Tower by the Dead next year.
Fantastic. I bet it happens. So again, Pepperwine, always a great Musikfest watch, and definitely check out their music. Obviously, we played a cover here for you, but
they're an excellent band. We have had them on the show a few times. They were also played our very first Snow Planet B Jamboree.
Correct.
And highly entertaining, highly musical, easily digested.
Yes.
So check them out.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make my way out.
Yeah, that's definitely a good plan.
Yeah.
You might want to stick for one more. Just
Oh.
stick for one more. I think you're gonna like Damn Tall Buildings, and then because this is one.
Now I feel stupid.
No, you're totally fine. Stick for this one, and then head out.
I'm just seeing this happen.
I
so
totally
I'm
hear
like,
it. I get it. This
Yeah,
is
Sam owns the business that is actually getting busy. So, like, Sam should go do the business thing.
Yeah,
Well,
guess
let's
what
get
I
into
said
it. So-
about Musikfest before.
Yeah, Damn Tall Buildings was probably the band I was looking forward to the most, and they did not disappoint. And so this is a compilation of a couple songs that they performed.
Excuse me.
Go ahead.
Please don't move the tables. Thank you. This is what I was.
Yeah. If you want to go ahead.
Yeah. It's cool.
Okay, yeah, I'm gonna.
Yeah, go
We're
ahead.
good. We're totally good.
So, Damn Tall Buildings was the band I was looking forward to the most, as you know.
Yeah, you have talked them up quite a bit. I've seen them once before, so I know why you like them so much.
Yeah, and this particular, I captured a couple different clips of theirs, and what I did was I kind of put them together because I couldn't pick which one I wanted to play. It was one of their
So you
songs.
made a montage.
I did. It was kind of like my own little reel.
Also, but if you made a montage, that implies you could travel across the country very quickly, travel by montage, if you will,
exactly
or
right.
train. You'll be ready for the Rocky fight at that point in time.
Yes, exactly. So the first song is La Gasse Abdi. I hope I'm saying that right. Then one of their songs called Words to the Song. And then the last one is a Texas fiddle song called Tom and Jerry. So take a listen to Damn Tall Buildings, who are just tremendous. Unfortunately, so they had two sets that day. One was at 3 o'clock, that's this one. They were scheduled to go on at 7, and the rain impacted things from roughly 5:30-ish till 8:30-ish. So that second set never happened. I did get the sense that they were building, like that they almost were saving themselves. Like, this was an incredible set, and here's the Tom and Jerry song. This is so much fun. They delivered, but I could get the sense that they were like, this was the appetizer, and the dinner was coming later on.
I also think being the physical work they have to do, they're saving some energy
Totally.
for the later part of the show because they know they have to do this all over again.
Yep. I love that they're so classic bluegrass. They're all around one mic. They're just such wonderful performers, and they have this ability to play at a nonstop level. Like they're at 60 miles an hour, and they do not stop. It
Yep.
just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes, and they're just pouring it on, and it builds, and it's beautiful, and the vocals are gorgeous, and the songwriting, the fiddle playing, I mean, everything is great. Here's some good news. Was able to meet with them. They were definitely, obviously, like a NextFavBand for me. They're going to be coming on the show in October.
Fantastic. So October 2024, clear your entire month out. So,
Yeah, there's a couple others that we were super pumped to be able to connect with and get kind of scheduled. We'll touch on them as it goes. But again, you can see he broke a string.
I mean, he's playing the hell out of his guitar.
He's
That's
playing
what
the
happens.
hell out of the guitar, and it's roughly, this is one of those classic hot as balls plots, 98 degrees, punch in the face hot.
Well, and it's super humid at that point in time because of that storm front you were talking about. So
that was about to happen.
That Saturday, I was not at Musikfest. I was out of town, and it was one of my picks did not play that night because of that rainstorm.
That's right.
So
that is right.
While I'm disappointed others could not enjoy it, I am not partially, slightly, smallly delighted in the fact that I did not have to miss them.
You didn't miss it.
Right.
Exactly. Yes. So after. See, now I have to get ready to hit pause every time. After the Damn Tall Buildings, we hopped on the shuttle bus. We headed to Southside because Roy and the Secret People were playing. Obviously, we're big fans of theirs. They were part of our very first Your Next Favorite Band Presents show. And so we really wanted to see that happen. This is possibly my favorite video capture because the storm was coming and the people who worked for Musikfest kept saying, you got to come off the stage, and they're like, one more song, and they're like, no, all right, fine, make it quick. And they played Dog Street, which is not a quick song, and the exuberance of the crowd was so great. So check this out. This is such a great performance of Dog Street by Roy and the Secret People.
Roll me a bone, baby, put me a shot. Let the nightmares come and don't let them run high. See you time after the show. So you leave me once, you ain't leaving me twice. Got your feathers ruffled, don't let it look nice. Don't let it look nicer.
I really hope I can find somebody who has that picture.
Of Mike giving the finger in the background?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to be a rock star, be a rock star, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
if you go up to take a photo with a rock star on stage, get ready for that.
actually, I think it's the appropriate response.
It
at that
is,
point in time,
absolutely
because
is.
A
But-
selfie at that point in time to me feels arrogant.
It
So
totally does.
You receive what you dealt.
Correct. And if anybody knows that person, or if you happen to check this out, please send me that picture. I would love to have that shot. But as you can see, the clouds in the background are on their way.
They're ominous. That is the word to describe those
Yeah.
at that point in time.
But
this is also the stage at Musikfest that has
here's
the
some
longest,
more
that
Mike
has the
Roy
that
awesome.
it does have the longest name.
Yes. He's just, I mean, this is what makes Mike Roy one of the best frontmen in the industry. He's just in the crowd, destroying the song, dancing with people, throwing horns everywhere. I mean, it's just so great. Now, this does go on to do like guitar solos and stuff, but for the sake of time,
If you do get a chance to see them, you should see this because
Oh.
he is a performer that carries his influences proudly and leaves it all on the stage.
Yep.
Even when he did an acoustic show with us, I mean,
Correct.
it was that same sort of, not that he's running around an acoustic set, but it was that same energy that it was brought in front of the audience.
Yep. And Ed Golden, Madeleine, they're just bringing it. I wish so. I had stopped the recording, but towards the end, they actually had to stop the song mid-song
Because of
and
the
he
weather.
was doing his like rock and roll voice, and he's
Right.
like, "We gotta stop! Everybody seek shelter!" And I just was like, "It's already stopped recording." I'm like, "Man, that would have been so great."
When your vocal cords are already all stretched out up there, you know,
Exactly.
it's not too difficult.
Yeah. So now now the weather affects things, and there's another rock and roll all-star that happens. A band I had never seen before, Winton Existing. And with this one, what happened was I was under the tent, like you talked about. The rain was starting to let up. It was about 6:15, and they were like, "Hey, they can go on." Now, if you remember before, I said it doesn't really open up until 8:30. For like a 15-minute window, they said people can go back on, and then the rain kicked back up again. Well, we saw that Winton Existing was starting to play, so we ran over there. And this beautiful thing happened. Their song Juicy Prevalence, which is a banger. Here, check out Winton Existing. Absolutely stunning, outstanding rock and roll.
I mean, it's full-on rock and roll, right? That's
right.
like, are you a fan of the full-on, like, guitar in your face?
Yep.
Les Pauls and Fender Strats turned all the way up to their maximum ability to do anything.
Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And then, unfortunately, again, so he goes on, plays this one song, maybe two, and then
call it off.
And then the rain kicked in again, and they shut them down. Now, these are even tented stages, and they still had to put it down because it was the thunder and the lightning that was going on.
There are safety issues that actually come into play that I know people that are just getting wet don't realize what is in danger with that. I think the rule that we were told from Patrick, who was on with our exordium, is 8 miles?
8 miles.
Is a clearance? Because, folks, you can't dodge lightning.
No.
You think you're fast.
Not that fast.
You're not that fast. So be mindful of the fact when any festival does that, as much as you may be disappointed.
Correct. And listen, on our exordium, we bring on Bobby Martrich. He's very much involved in that. Obviously, so is the National Weather Service and so on. They're doing the best they can. They obviously don't want to shut the festival down. So if it happens,
it costs them money.
It's a necessity.
They're literally doing it out of safety.
Yeah. So this other one, this is a shorter one. I really felt like we needed to pay homage to this one because the band Fleece, they're from Canada.
Yep.
They played the day before.
Which is the time that I saw them. I
Correct.
did not see the show that you're showing a clip from, but I saw them.
The rain had stopped roughly, again, like 8:15. And so we knew they were on until 9. And so we were like, oh, they'll probably go on. They ended up not really going on until about 8:45. And we were worried, okay, now it's only 10, 15 minutes. They might just pick up their instruments and go home. But they were in the audience, so like they were talking to everybody for that like 20, 30 minutes that we were there. Just saying hi, just talking to people. Super cool.
They were like Canadian. They were super
nice. They were
nice.
being very Canadian. But also they were like, yeah, as soon as they give us the go-ahead, we don't care how many minutes we have, we're going to play something. And at 8:45, they were like, go. They were like eating chicken wings, fingers, and they like dropped them and ran up on stage and grabbed their instruments and played Do You Mind? They played like 3 or 4 songs without a break. Like as soon as one song ended, they started the next one. But here's Do You Mind by Fleece. And again, kudos to them for just kind of like soldiering on through this storm.
Simply because I saw a longer set from them. I saw them the night before because they played 2 nights. They were great.
Yes.
Very Canadian in the sense that they were very nice folks, but it is a very groovy sort of there's a bit of spaciness to that space, but they have multiple singers, which allows them some texture in the band.
Yep.
There is a definite sense in the band of songness. And I know that sounds like a weird thing to say, but they are very much song crafters, and it was I thought it was a great performance. They also threw in a Madonna cover, so I mean,
Fantastic.
you know, like you don't get that one that often.
Right.
Oh, and a Britney Spears cover too.
Yeah, I mean, there's a vibe to them for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's a very clearly tight-knit group of people who love performing together, and that's worth something in and of itself.
Yeah.
Then their music is genius and different.
It's very chill.
Yes.
I mean, even their upbeat stuff isn't aggressively upbeat.
Correct.
And that's not a dig. We all have different. I mean, there's a reason Mondays exist.
Yes.
And but they're a great band.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of them, and like I said, I just felt like they were owed a huge shout out for even just the fact that they went up on stage and played for 15 minutes.
Yeah,
they didn't have to.
They came prepared.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's a sign
so
of
they
profession.
love to perform.
But
They
that's
were
also-
sad that they
that's
couldn't perform.
Professionalism, and I appreciate
Exactly.
that. I mean, I really do.
Yeah. So definitely check them out, and can't wait to see them play again under better circumstances. But we're now moving on to Sunday. We're into day
three.
Day three. And this is a band that actually will be kicking off our interviews as we get back to normal content. Archive, who is a Musikfest legend in very short order. Like, they've developed an amazing following very quickly and have put on legendary sets on small stages. Now they're just building up to larger stages. They happen to be on Plaza Tropicala on this
do you
day.
want to describe what Arkai is before, or wait till after? You just throw them right at somebody that's checking this out for the first time.
I think we should just let it go.
Okay.
Let's let Archive be Archive. Check out, this is a cover song. They're doing Sound of Silence by Simon & Garfunkel. See that the beauty of Arkai is this genius duo of cello and violin. They happen to be on the acoustic versions of them here, but they also play electric, and it's absolutely mind-blowing. It's not even like they talk about genre defiant, and that's what our show is all about, but they also are stretching boundaries in ways that are just, you have to be a genius to even conceive of what they're doing. So I can't wait to talk with them. They'll be our first guest on September 4th as we return back to our more regular, hour-long interviews with artists and sharing their music and such. But Arkai, just absolute sheer brilliance, especially when they're doing covers and also their own original music. They obviously have that as well. David is getting us some beers, so I'm going to transition us over to another song. Later that same day was come on, slide in. This is a lo-fi program. The next song we're bringing in is Dustin Douglas and the Electric Gentlemen.
So Dustin Douglas, former member of the Badleys. If you didn't
That's
mention
exactly
that,
right.
If you didn't mention that already.
I did not mention it yet because we're just bringing it in now. But yes, Badleys, but also just his own brilliance. He also joined for
Correct.
daily live stream at Godfrey Daniels. It was lovely to chat with him that same day, so you can go check out that interview. And really, really enjoy their music. He's like that filthy Southern rock bluesy guitarist.
Yeah, it is absolutely from the if the Allman Brothers and Stevie Ray Vaughan hung out together, this is what you would get.
Now, this particular song is more of a ballad. It's called Change. It's a slower one, but it is an absolutely wonderful song. So here, check out Change by Dustin Douglas and the Electric Gentlemen.
I can use a little change.
So there is Change, Dustin Douglas, Electric Gentlemen. Super great catalog. Definitely check that out.
Yeah,
Wilkes-Barre based.
Yep.
So again, kind of local for us here, and it just speaks to how awesome like our local music scene is here in this kind of eastern Pennsylvania, northeast area.
Yeah, they were great. They were tight. They were well rehearsed. They sounded good on stage. And, you know, the great groove that is that type of music.
Yeah. You mentioned, like, Allman Brothers and such. I got a lot of Black Crowes.
Oh, sure. Which, I mean...
Same kind of neighborhood.
Yeah, which the Black Crowes to me were always like if the Rolling Stones hung out with the Allman Brothers.
Yes, you are all over it there. But coming up next here is one of our massive favorites, Blair Crimmins and the Hookers. Yet another cover, which is, again, not our thing, but this one was super fun. And, again, could be a game winner when it comes to our cover song game.
But wow, if you pulled this one out, I see what it's listed in the notes on the side there.
Correct.
Not only did you win, kudos on you for going
going for it.
Yeah.
I was tempted to use, so Blair is so generous with his time, with what they have going on, and the Hookers, because it's always a 6 or 7 piece.
The Hookers are paid.
Yeah.
Sorry, I couldn't help it. It was too bad of a joke.
But they come by the live stream at Godfrey Daniels, and this last year I was talking to them after this set because they were here for 2 days, and I was like enamored with the the instruments.
Yeah.
And I was like, hey, would you bring them in? And I meant like the trumpet and the banjo. And they brought in everything. They brought in a drum kit. They brought in the stand-up bass.
It is worth. I just want to reference this. This was one of the ones of the highlights that have been released from the live streams. The live streams are a bit chaotic because they're designed around like a bit of information.
Correct.
It being out there. This one is a little bit more structured simply by the nature of what happened that day.
Yep.
It's worth checking out. It's a genuinely interesting. It's sort of a variation on what you did with the Radiohead with there with the behind the sound.
Yep.
It actually, in my mind, almost turned out better because you weren't in a big loud room. You were in a very small room at that point in time.
I loved it. They were so in love with their instrument and wanted to talk about it.
There's a bit of the basics questions that are asked, but no matter what your interest level is, there's something about it that is very interesting.
Absolutely.
I mean, it's fully
they
interesting.
They're in a partnership.
The passion that each of the musicians actually show for their instruments is almost worth tuning in just for that.
Yes. So highly recommend that. But so they play a song at the end. So like at the very end, we had to do it in the old-fashioned way because obviously the horns are loud, the drum is loud, the banjo has its own thing. We had to pace them out as far away from this microphone here, so that because I didn't have channels, I had to just do it off of one mic. So we spaced them accordingly. And then they played a Django Reinhardt cover song. I mean, it was like as if you just jumped right back to 1931.
I think I texted you after the fact. You basically said they set up just as they would traditionally have done it in 1920, whatever it was.
Super special. But so here's a very cool cover song. They decided to cover the song Going Out West by Tom Waits. And instead of a banjo, he's playing his D'Angelico, which is a gorgeous guitar. So check out Blair Crimmins and the Hookers playing Going Out West by Tom Waits. Gotta love the Blair Crimmins and the Hookers.
Blair and the Hookers are fantastic, and it's a fantastic song. Like, there's a great combo happening, and that's not to dig at anything that Blair has written, but damn, that is a great Tom Waits song.
So great.
It's such a good song.
Great. Such a great call by him to cover this song, and it fits well with the vibe. The horns sound amazing in it.
Also, if you played our cover song game and you called that one, I tip my hat.
Exactly. Oh, totally. So yeah, the next one we're going to bring on was the next day. Emily Drinker and the Funky Tea went on to, again, Stadtplatz stage. So you're going to see the gorgeous backdrop of Bethlehem once again.
Phil is doing tourism film in the background that we're just not aware of.
Kind of.
What time?
I'm not going to dispute that, but we're going to just go right into this one. I love this song. It's called Ode to Bernice, and it puts on display Emily Drinker's an absolute brilliant genius at looping.
Oh.
And so the beginning of this song is just her singing with her and also singing with her. And then the band kicks in and it's a brilliant song. So here, enjoy Ode to Bernice. So, I mean, I'm a massive fan of Emily Drinker. We had her on the show. She was also part of our very first Winter Wonder Jam.
Yeah, she did this looping setup with the first verse of Silent Night.
Yes.
And she did it in stacked harmony, and it's beautiful. She's an extraordinarily talented vocalist who has both the ability to be very distinct and the ability to blend at a level that is just astounding.
Yep. Yeah. Big fan. So check out Emily Drinker whenever you can. this moves us into Tuesday. Tuesday we lost everything. I got to see Emma Backrath play at like 4:30, and then the heavens opened, and the rest of the night was a wash.
it was a total washout.
Yeah, and so loved seeing Emma. She came on the show during the daily live streams later that week. She's a tremendous performer, and
has a very dry sense of humor too.
Yes, that interview was wonderful.
Which is, I think, astoundingly great. Like, I actually think that was great.
But one thing that happened there, and here we are once again doing a cover, but some of it had to do with, so also who came on the live streams that same day was the Amish Outlaws. And if there's somebody who does tribute band type cover songs really, really well, it's the Amish Outlaws. And they are also a tremendous conversation. So another one that's already out there, if you get a chance, check out the Amish Outlaws interview. That particular conversation, I didn't even feel like I had to talk at all. Like, they were so funny and had great stories. I just sat back and laughed. I was part of the audience.
Isn't that the best interviews?
It is. It absolutely is. Then later that night, what they did is they put them on. They moved them inside. They were supposed to be on the Levitt stage.
Right.
They
because
moved them
of the
in
monsoon.
because of the heavy rains.
Yeah, they moved them inside.
And so, since that's the only game in town, and they're extremely talented, and they were on the show earlier that day, I'm gonna go check out some Amish Outlaws. And they are so cool. So this particular song, they mash up Black Sabbath and Ludacris, which again, only a tribute band can do.
Also, Ludacris was one of the headliners.
And he was one of the headliners, which made it even
it was a
greater.
nice little nod to some of the headliners that come to Musikfest.
And this is something they're super well known for. So here, enjoy their mashup of Black Sabbath and Ludacris.
This time we've got Ludacris. Who likes Ludacris? Generals gathered in their masses. Just like witches and that nasty needle. Get out the way! Through their lines and by distraction. Get out the way! Sorcerer of the construction. Get out the way! In the fields of bodies burning. Get out the way! As a war machine is turned away. Get out the way! Death and hatred to mankind. Get out the way! Poison in a brainwashed mind. Wait until oh no, the party's out. I'm not the one sure the lights are out. Get the fuck back, guard your grill. There's something wrong with that stage.
So again, if you want to have a great time, you're out with a bunch of friends, you're gonna have some drinks, and you can go see the Amish Outlaws play for 2 hours. You're gonna have an awesome time.
I have a friend of mine who came for one show, and that was them.
And I can't really argue it. Like, it's not what I'm in for.
No,
But I totally get it why you would want to go see them.
They fall into that category of good time.
Yes.
And that there's nothing wrong with that. Like we talk about this show is based around finding new music. Okay,
Yes.
so that the show has a purpose as far as what we're trying to do.
Right.
They are not probably the band you're going to show up when you want to see quote new music.
No.
Quote. But that being said, you want to have a good time. You saw the new band.
Yep.
Have a good time.
Exactly.
Have a beer.
And
get
they're
that,
just
get that
they,
mug.
They,
you know.
they take the music seriously. They don't
do.
take themselves seriously.
Right, which is exactly what you want.
And
actually.
that's exactly what you want.
Yeah, that's bands I've played for in the past, other than I was pretentiously in my late teens.
Yeah.
It was mostly that, where
But-
it was like we were going to play really hard, and then we're going to not care about what we are.
And so, definitely check out the interview. Megan says here, can you imagine if you were on a Rumspringa and heard this?
You would probably join the band.
Yes. The thing was, they're on a permanent Rumspringa. The interview with them was so funny. And apparently, that lead singer, the shorter lead singer with the bald head, his name is Brother Hezekiah X. Apparently, he falls off the stage on the regular. And so they were sharing story after story after story of how he either fell into a hole, off the stage, absolutely ate shit into like a bar. Like, it just, all these amazing stories of how he falls all the time.
Are we sure he's not a professional wrestler?
I
mean, that feels
he
like
talked
that's...
about that. But anyway, like, it's just so fun. They shared amazing stories. They also talked about how they don't really eat, they don't drink or smoke all that much. Like, even though they're not Amish and they could, it's like not their thing. But they played a 420 festival and they got contact high.
Well, I mean,
this is the funniest story ever to hear about 6 Amish outlaws
like
high as
baked.
a kite.
Yeah.
Anyway, amazing, super funny, great people.
Check out that highlight release.
Check out that.
That one's been
absolutely.
released.
There's
been 3 releases so far from that.
Yes.
And those are the Amish Outlaws and the Blair Crimmins ones are absolutely worth diving into.
So funny. Anyway, okay, so now we're into Wednesday. Here now the weather is behind us. There's still some impact of rain, but it's not changing the lineup or the schedule.
It's mostly just wet.
It's just wet and cold and damp, but it didn't change.
Cold, no.
Oh, it was cold. Wednesday was chilly. I needed a chimenea.
Chilly is compared to August is. I will bring that's.
I was cold.
That's California. That's not. It wasn't cold, but it was not 90 degrees anymore.
For the first time ever, I was in jeans and chattering, and then I went home.
You're from New York.
So here's one thing. So Paco Killeri, also been on the show, our sound guy for other things. He was the sound person for Match Plots. He said for the first time ever, I had to turn on the heater in the booth he's in. So anyway, point was, Wednesday, not a great day weather-wise, but a great day music-wise. So here we are. What we do here is we finally get to see Velvet Rouge.
Oh,
had a wonderful interview with Gina Zoe.
Back in July.
Correct. Relatively recent. Loved it. She's
tremendous.
One of the hottest performers going right now in every sense of the word, but like mainly she was part of like almost every festival in the Philadelphia area. And so had her on for that and couldn't wait to see her perform. And then here's their song called Fakin' It, Velvet Rouge. Enjoy. So there is Velvet Rouge, just a stunning performer. Like vocals, owns the stage, and then you can obviously tell also the musicians, super professionals. This is a show you want to go see if you get a chance to go see it.
I have no notes on what you just said. Like that just checked all the boxes. Like, wait, they're interesting and good musicians, and it's going to be good songs.
Yeah.
Like that's pretty much my qualifier for a lot of these things.
Yeah. And she's somewhat becoming an icon for the LGBTQ community. This particular song, Fakin' It, was about faking being straight.
Correct.
And so a little bit of an anthem for that.
We spoke about that specifically during the interview. You should check that out. So you can hear the whole story where she breaks that down.
Totally. So great song, and then obviously a great kind of message behind it to be your most genuine
She even
self.
spoke specifically about like her stage outfits, wardrobe. I don't know what the right word is, but like costume. But my point being is she spoke specifically about how that all comes together as well too.
Great catalog beyond just that. I mean, like it's a lot of bangers in their catalog. So definitely check out Velvet Rouge. They'll be playing Exponential Festival. So that's coming up in this Philly area is that September or October? I think it's
which one?
Exponential.
It's end of September.
September, yeah. It's Philly Musikfest is October.
Yeah, that's why I just had to double check which one you were asking about.
Exactly.
Look, it's not bad that we have so much to choose from.
Yes. And now we're going to so like I said, I was cold and soaking wet. My jeans were maybe 75 degrees, but I had to stick around.
75, folks. 75
pounds.
Oh, pounds.
75 pounds. No, the temperature was chipper. But here's the thing. I had heard from Megan Laverty that Tioga I needed to be there for the first 2 songs. And she was right.
You're going to play some deep cuts for Phil?
And, well, it wasn't for me. It was for themselves. But I was enjoying it. they know that I love this track, Dream Eater, and they opened with it, and it has a very cool like opening to it. And so we're gonna let this one play a little bit. Tioga founded it again in this kind of Lehigh Valley area, now kind of Philadelphia and New York City based. And so they played a 2-hour set, all Tioga music. They did not play any covers.
Good for them. I mean, that's
very good for them.
I think if you're going to be an original band, be an original band and live by that. Like,
Exactly.
it is complicated and it's challenging and it's hard as hell, but
yeah,
good for them.
So here is Dream Eater by Tioga. I don't see how that song is not a more massive hit. I say that all the time, but
timing is everything? Question mark?
I guess.
I mean, I think that unfortunately is what answers a lot of those things.
Right. So here's Megan. She was there and bundled up. It was cold and wet and cold and very wet.
I can't even imagine what her hair did in that weather. Like at this point in time.
And get this. So she was there with her mom, and Greg's mom was there, and they were all like, "If Mom wasn't in the title, I don't think I'd be here." But I will say, look, there's tons of people with umbrellas and stuff. The festers came out and fested. I will say that.
Yeah, the fest went on, if you will. But I will concede that it was not a great night to fest.
It was not the best of nights, except the music was fantastic.
No. Everything else is the components that I'm referring to.
Yeah. So yeah, now it turns into like where we were in hyperdrive. Thursday was rainy, but not cold, and not thunderstorms. So there was some rain, but it didn't stop anything of the fun. And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday were amazing.
Yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday were like served up on a platter as far as weather was concerned.
And then there were some amazing musicians that, and some we knew and our friends of the show, and others we had never heard of before, like this one. Hans Williams is one of the best finds of the festival, in my opinion. Once again, we have the beautiful backdrop of Bethlehem on Stadtplatz stage.
This show is, I swear, not sponsored by Bethlehem Tourism Board or whatever.
Right, the mayor's office or whatever. But Hans Williams put on a total show. If you like John Mayer, you will like Hans Williams.
I mean, that's how I would describe it. Yeah. That feels like a valid description.
And so take a listen to this song called Skin.
Well, you won't know inside. You won't no chance of knowing where you go.
really great set. As he was performing, you can see there's got a nice gaggle of people up by the front of the stage. It was because it started to rain and there's like 15 feet of cover.
Yeah. It's a great space.
It was. For the camera, it made it look like it was a really, really good...
No.
But it was good.
Those overcast skies are what photographers want.
Yes.
Like, it gives that even lighting to everything. Like, I mean, like, let's not lie. It worked out well for this kind of... Look at that fog coming over the mountain.
Exactly.
Like, that looks great.
Yep. I don't know why they kept doing the demon red lights, but whatever.
Because the light guy was like this. The button is stuck.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it was... Hans Williams is a great, great performer. He was only on for an hour, and it was not enough. It was definitely like you.
Well,
you
that's
were,
what you want from me. Right there, you've just defined on. Like, I didn't go to that show.
Right.
I wasn't at that set, and to me, that what you just said there makes me go like this. I mean, I guess I'll go next time because
Sure.
that to me, for someone who's a music lover, is not it whet my appetite and it didn't satisfy things. So I need to make sure I see them again.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, just the lineup of this day, and you know, a lot of people thought this was going to possibly be like the best day of the festival because of all of this. It didn't disappoint at all. Because this was the same night that Preservation Hall Jazz Band was on.
Yeah.
You know, and so there's elements like there's people on this list that we don't have either clips of to share or didn't quite get to or didn't capture the right things. Like here's people we're not talking about. You know, the Beaches, Robert John and the Wreck, Bren and Billy Bauer, the Draculas. They were amazing.
They were amazing. Melt.
Right.
Melt were fantastically good.
The Hot Mamas. Fig for a Kiss was amazing.
Yep.
Who else is on here? William H. Travis, Teke Teke,
Yep.
Preservation Hall Jazz Band.
DJ Spooky it was less concert, more presentation, but still like something that super music fest.
So even though this is like 25-ish clips that we're sharing with you, it's still not everything we saw. And there was also moments that I took for myself. There was definitely moments where I was like, this is amazing, I should take my phone out of my pocket, and I said, nope, this one's for me.
Oh, no, that is one of the reasons we don't have certain clips is because I don't. I am often that I need to be here in this moment and just take this moment, and this moment belongs to me because I showed up.
And it might have been because I was with either friends or my kids or just simply for myself. There was moments where I was just like, no, I'm not worrying about the capture of this. I'm just going to enjoy this moment. So apologies, but also sorry, not sorry.
Yeah, come to Musikfest.
Exactly. And so going back into the music here, so Thursday night, Mike Maines and the Branches, who are an absolutely stunning show. Sure. Again, also friends of the show, and been on a couple times, was basically the inspiration behind our Listen to the Dissonance mental health live performance that we do. But this particular song was kind of the anthem of that, but this is the full band version. We were typically playing the acoustic version. Here's their song, Around the Corner.
Would you like to soak your heart in bleach? Scrub it white, tear all the walls are clean. When you're staring in the mirror and the old black roof comes steaming over you. Don't throw it all away. We've all made our mistakes. You never know what's waiting for you. Goodbye to yesterday. Hello to brighter days. You never know what's around the corner.
So, bye McLean's. How appropriate that you're leaving during Mike Maines and the Branches. Me and my power of Latin memes.
Good night, guys.
Thank you so much. So, here's the thing. I love watching Mike in the full band because he gets taken over by the spirit or whatever that is. Like,
it also allows the front band.
Yes.
When he is playing into the acoustic or the small ensemble setup, he's busy playing guitar.
Sure.
He's unstrapped, if you will, during this time. And
untethered.
Untethered is a better term.
Yeah.
You have a personal story that you've recounted before about
Yeah.
that. So I mean,
totally.
it is to me the better version of the band. I know there's an intimacy to the acoustic thing, but that to me is the better version of the band.
And I will say, so the flip side of that is, it is how he writes the songs.
Of course, yeah, sure.
And he's touring this coming fall.
He is.
As just a solo acoustic show.
It is worth mentioning that is going to be a local stop.
Yep.
We're fortunate to we have one on our stop.
It's stopping in Bethlehem. It's stopping in New York and Philadelphia, as well as other cities.
Yep.
And so that's the other side of it, like you talked about, the intimacy and the closeness to how these songs were written. And he tells great stories. He's very open and honest about his struggles.
You mentioned that, but one of the things that's really interesting is, so musically, they're very energetic, often, not always, but often.
Yep.
They are complex musically, but yet, lyrically, it is very intimate. There's a very personal side to it.
Yep.
So if you there's both sides, that it really is a coin in the sense of that, like, both, there's this energetic side that is truly anthemic.
Yes.
And then there's this acoustic, almost storytellerness that is there.
100%. Yeah, I think they're absolutely 100% one of the top bands to go see live if you can. Here's Megan saying, Mike Maines and the Branch is another one of those absolutely fabulous bands that everyone should know. I've said
Megan
this
did
before.
a better job of summarizing
Yes,
that
thank
than
you,
I
Megan.
absolutely did. So.
Thank you, Meglav. Basically, if somebody says, like, real fast, who should be my next favorite band, and I just have to pick from, like, okay, I have no idea what that person's genre preference is, or, like, what decade they prefer to. I feel like Mike Maines is so, like, universally, everyone would like it. That's one.
There's a bit of decade agnosticness that he has to his music. You're an 80s person. Well, there's synths.
Yes.
Right. You like a singer-songwriter guy from the 70s. Well, there's that vibe too. You know?
Got that too. Exactly.
There is no Motown vibe that I've yet to pick up, but maybe it is there, and I haven't listened to the right song. So.
So here is the other side of that coin, where it is just absolute brilliance of Kufnats and Christine Elise.
They were one of my picks.
And so not only are they absolutely sheer genius by mixing hip-hop and rap with a harp, but this particular song, they brought on Marley. Did you see this yet?
No, I have not.
Okay,
This is
Marley.
new to me too.
Marley is a harmonica player.
Oh, so like a blues harmonica player?
And this is not a song they've released ever before.
I'm going to mute you right now, and you're going to put that on so I can listen to it.
So here's this song, Soul Music.
Staying fresh in the mix of it all, see? Cause MCs out there be frontin' for y'all. You listen to the words, they sound just like a movie. Not in the fiction, them words don't move me. Was raised in the 90s when MCs was raw. KRS, Tribe Called Quest, PE, y'all. Remember hip hop, it started out in the park. It's an art from the heart, not created for charts. Becomes as lovely though the money is real. But I don't switch it up for no crazy deal. Been live since the first time I touched the mic. You ain't feeling what you hearing, your ears ain't right. Confused by the radios pumping trash. Do the math, find the difference of this and rap. You dig me, walk with me, bring hip hop back. You dig me, walk with me, bring hip hop back. So we create this just for you. It's soul music. So we create this just for you. It's soul music.
It's just stupid good.
We can just turn the stream off as far as I'm concerned at this point in time.
That was definitely an absolute highlight of the whole thing.
So they were one of my picks. They're always a great show. I listen to their music, like I genuinely listen to their music. but their live show is slightly always different, which is great, which is one of the things that appeals
Yeah,
to me.
yeah. So they came on the live stream.
And then this,
Yeah.
and I'm like, damn it!
So what I learned, I thought was the case, but confirmed. We knew that Christine is not the same every time. She's not.
She improvs a lot of the heart parts across. I mean, obviously the vocal melodies that she sings is not.
But Koof does too. He's controlling those beats in real time.
I know. Yeah. There's certain things that he has that are similar. When we did our Listen to the Dissonance program that we did in February of 2024, which is basically about mental health. They were one of our performers.
Yeah.
And you should check that out. But my point being is, it was interesting to be. We were literally right next to the stage, so we could hear them talking to each other, which most people in the audience do not get that opportunity.
Sure.
So this is one of those like behind the scenes, pull back the curtain things. But he was telling her the chord changes that were coming up.
Oh, yeah, right.
And that was like, I love that. Like that's musician talk.
Correct.
That was happening on stage.
Yep.
That people wouldn't necessarily associate with a guy with a laptop. If anyone missed that, that was air quotes.
Yeah, right.
And a classical harpist.
Yeah.
And that was, I loved it. Like that to me is, that kind of moments that happen like that are fantastic.
100%. They are pure joy and genius, and moments like that happen where you're like, I've never heard this song before, because they choose to not release certain things.
Yeah.
And then they bring on
a blues harpist.
an absolute filthy harmonica player.
Yeah.
And he's so good, I didn't even know what he was playing in the beginning. Like, I was like, what noise is that?
Yeah.
And then it was just sheer,
sometimes what the harmonica can do.
Sheer joy. Absolutely brilliant. Like, so loved that moment. We then moved over to Drew and the Blue. And so Drew and the Blue are...
So for you, this was a big eye-opener.
I mean, this was the... Yeah. We always talk about the music.
I didn't catch them, so I'm not defending like that I didn't have that reaction. I literally wasn't at this. Well, again, there are 11 stages. And
totally. Yeah.
There is a lot of, if you will, scheduling conflicts.
Yeah. And so with Drew and the Blue, they created the Musikfest moment. So, but I think it hasn't happened as much because we've just become so much more familiar with what's about to happen.
Yeah.
The Musikfest moments are, I have no idea what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
And it happens with someone like Koof and Christine, because you're like, wait a minute, what am I listening to? Because I'm grabbing a beer or food, and I'm like, was that a harp that just played? And then you like trip into the tent.
That is still something different that you and I deal with our schedule. You like to schedule yours all the way out. You build a ladder through your day and stuff like that. You had the original Saturday, which got rained out. You had 14 bands you were going to try and hit. I don't do that. I still put in gaps intentionally for that. I mean, great. It could be I'm grabbing a beer, I'm grabbing a gyro, I'm grabbing a something. I got to use the bathroom, whatever it is.
Right.
But I still look for those moments that are the Velcro moments that just grab me because I don't know why.
Right. And so like over time, it's happened with. Yes, it happened with Gangsta Grass, or it happened with Carver Commodore, where you're like, holy smokes, and you just keep getting closer and closer and closer to the stage. It's harder to happen now because we're so much more familiar with the bands.
And we're intentional now.
And we're also we're already up at the front of the stage.
Yeah, there's an
with this one, it just happened, and my goodness. So it's I don't know, I don't want to put it in a box at all, but it's a stand-up drummer who sings, and it's kind of rockabilly surf rock, but it's its own thing. Anyway, let's not even talk about it anymore.
Yeah, I was just saying, also there's other things, but...
So let's just put it on. This is their song called Faro Beach. Drew and the Blue, enjoy. there's so many things about it. It's like I could totally see this type of music in a Tarantino movie.
Sure.
I mean, I feel like there's an low-cut Connie quality to this showmanship.
Yeah, no, the showmanship for sure. I think musically, the other band, and you briefly, when you ran through them, the Draculas,
yes,
bring also this.
Oh yeah.
I actually am a big fan of the return of a bit of a nod to surf rock.
Yes.
So I like a Dick Dale song. Like, I'm not gonna lie to you. So, but this is in that same vein, and I saw you after this. We ran into each other, and you literally had like fanboy pockets stuffed full of merch. You're like, I bought the T-shirt, I bought the 45. Yep. You're like, I'm thinking about getting the tattoo, and it was an enthusiasm I haven't seen in a while.
Yeah,
so
and
that was awesome.
It really is a stunning display, and it's one of those ones that I think is, again, typical for maybe even our show, is you need to see the live performance. Like, if you just listen to the music recorded, it doesn't do it justice what the live performance does.
Well, there's a bit of manicness to his performance, I have to concede that. But it is, if I'm looking at it correctly, that video's correctly, that's a piccolo snare too, so that's going to be a really high snap every time he hits that damn thing.
And so the other beautiful part about what you're talking about there was, if he had such a passion to keep playing.
Yeah.
More than once, he would be like, "Hey, so this next song is about just listen." And he just went into it. He just wanted to get to playing the song, and he didn't want to waste any time around and like talking about what it was about. And it was awesome. It was just so awesome. It was what you want out of a Musikfest set. And we've chatted with them. They're going to come on the show. They're actually, the funny part about how you're hearing this like Draculas and their kind of sound, they actually have an entire Halloween album that's about to get released.
Correct.
In October.
Look,
and so
everyone needs a holiday album. Pick your holiday.
And they pick their holiday.
Everyone has their assumption that means the winter holidays.
It doesn't have to.
It does not have to be.
And so they actually hopped right on. We'll have an episode come out, I think it's October 30th.
So it's my birthday, everyone.
And so the very close to Halloween broadcast will be Drew and the Blue and talking about their Halloween album that they just released and all of this awesome music that they play. So there you go. Drew and the Blue is worth your time. Here's another one in that same category of just simply raw, incredible, awesome. They were part of the Exordium. We're going to bring on here a track from Mr. No Name. And what this is actually a song that is yet to be released, and so it has no name. So it's right on brand.
I was just saying, just like the band.
That the song has no name, the band is Mr. No Name. So here, enjoy Mr. No Name.
Let's go! Songs on the radio, my intrusive thoughts seem to come and go. They like to come at night, a place they try to hide, but they never can. They say you should hit these songs, you should hate your life. Do you love your wife enough, and will you lose your mind? And then they claim that they are the ones that are in control. Yeah, yeah. When the moon approaches east, I will run till I can't breathe. I can't control my hollow, control my hollow.
So what's amazing there, Logan, who's chiming in here, he's the drummer. He's wearing a Your Next Favorite Band hat. How about that? And thank you both for coming on our Exordium and making that a special moment. And great performance there. At what I love about this stage, which we always call the stage that has too long of a name, is they set this up beautifully. So that night they play for, I think it's like 30-40 minutes before the Levitt stage and then after it. And so they're filling in the gaps there of what's going on another stage. And it's just a great time because you can just stand in one spot and really take in a ton of great music. Here's Noah also kind of repping things. Wonderful set. Terrific stuff. And Drew and the Blue also tuning in here. Drew and the Blue, thanks for the kind words, fellas. Great fest all around. We dig drag. And then Dracula's. That's what you were saying there. Dracula's too. And thank you so much for all tuning in. This is so fun. And we're going to keep moving on. What we're heading in now here is we now have Saturday night. So we're in that kind of closing weekend here of Musikfest. And what we have is the shirt I'm wearing, Dust Bowl Revival. It was one of those, holy crap, it's free performers. And they had an amazing set. This here in particular was a song called Set Me Free. And what a great, an amazing setup for them. You got the horns, you got the full piece, you got the backup singers, similar to the kind of like what we started with a little bit. And it's just tremendous. But Zach Lupiton, who is the lead singer, the frontman, the writer of the songs, came on the show the week right beforehand, so had a great conversation with him, talked about Dust Bowl Revival history and what they've got coming up. That was a great interview, so definitely go check that out. But in the meantime, take a listen to their song, which is called, let me bring it up here, Set Me Free by Dust Bowl Revival. Amazing set. We were just talking about it because we were way up front for this, and
yeah, I'm standing next to Phil Weiss recording this.
Yeah, great set, great, just overall performance. Left nothing on in the tank.
Yeah, they were a great performance, which was anticipated. You and I had them as picks.
Yep.
I had seen them before.
Yep.
This was a great performance as well. We got a chance to speak with them after the show briefly, so that was also nice too.
Totally.
And if you didn't, Phil might have mentioned this because I stepped away for a moment. We interviewed Z as well, so you should check out that interview if you want to get a whole sort of like the backstory of Dust Bowl Revival, which I think is intriguing and interesting in itself.
Yeah, totally. I think they've got. So here was a neat thing too. Some of the times I was capturing music this way, and then sometimes I was capturing it this way. By that I mean portrait and landscape. And because I was going to be posting on
the socials,
on Instagram, and so sometimes I'm capturing a song and I don't know what I go and I don't recognize it. So I sent it to him since we were connected to him over the last week or so.
Right.
And I was like, hey, thanks again for coming on the show. Wanted to post this song, but can you just help me identify it? Sorry, I don't recognize it. And he goes, oh, it's an unreleased song. So I was kind of happy that I wasn't missing an obvious song, but also kind of cool that we captured
Stairway
that.
to Heaven by
Right,
Led
exactly.
Zeppelin.
Yeah. Maybe you've heard of it.
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's a really, really cool song called "You Gotta Get Right," and great horn solos and stuff like that.
Such
and so on.
a huge vibe.
Yep.
It's almost got, I say this with all due respect, it's got a James Brown bigness to it.
Oh, yeah. I totally see what you're going with there. So heading into Sunday. Sunday's always a little bit interesting because, you've got, 9 days or 10 days behind you of long days, hot,
Yeah, hot.
wet,
Not gonna
drinking,
lie, there's mugs.
ate food,
Yeah.
and so lack of sleep, all of it catching up to you. So Sunday tends to be a little bit of a slower day, but there's such great music. It's last call.
It's last call, by the way.
The element of that day is such that you're going down for the music. You're not going down for the party.
Sure, absolutely. I think that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Like if you're there for the vibe.
And so one of the people performing that night was Cass Noel, also who was part of.
She was our
the
exordium.
Exordium.
Yeah. She was fantastic.
Yeah.
Really, actually, was an eye opener for me. I'll be perfectly frank. I knew her stuff tangentially. I heard a couple of her 3 or 4 songs of her. But in person, the performance, there was a sort of an angelicness that was just sitting there. Yeah.
You're so right about that. So she is, and we talked about it that night, but I'll mention it again here. It bears mentioning anytime you get a chance to. She's a huge advocate for awareness around substance abuse and addiction,
absolutely, yeah.
and asking for help. And so her website has resources. And so this song here was about her husband who overdosed and could have asked for help. And so it's called Someone to Help You. And it's always something that we always want to talk about and mention, even in the midst of all of the fun and joy of Musikfest and music in and of itself. You always have to remember that people are struggling and to be there for people and make sure that everybody knows that there's help out there if they just go out and ask for it. So take a listen to Someone to Help You by Cass Noel.
Anyone to help you walk through any door, tell them when you're there for it. Find someone to help you, only you if you want to. Fragments of your life flash before your eyes. You can't decide to live or die. Can't see the crazy with your own eyes.
So the other thing about this is Cass will be part of our next Listen to the Dissonance. So kind of mini announcement there.
That will be in February, if I'm not mistaken.
You're correct. So February 28th, we have the date. It'll be at the Ice House again here in Bethlehem. The rest of the lineup is being worked on, but obviously it makes way too much sense to have Cass be a part of that and share her story and play this song amongst others and share the resources that she knows are out there. So very, very humbled by how the first version of this was received, and very excited isn't the right term, but like I'm
anticipatory,
inspired to want to keep it going and continue to make it an accessible kind of
open space.
Yeah, a safe space and an open space and a place where you can maybe not feel alone. So
if you're interested, you can dig in. There are more information that's on the website, NextFavBand.com, that has our information from the past one, which was this past February, so you can get a taste of it there. So, if that seems like something that you would be open and interested in, you should check that out. Also, a small plug for the Ice House.
Oh yeah,
such a cool space.
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely, like you just said, like to shine a light on that as well. But certainly love the outpouring of support for what that event was trying to be, and looking forward to continuing to do that. So we got some cool things in the works to make that maybe up a notch for this coming year.
Pyrotechnics? Question mark?
No.
By the way, the Ice House is a small indoor space. And by small, I mean it's not tiny, but pyrotechnics would be right out.
Yeah, but we can do it outside. But anyway, not pyrotechnics.
In February.
Yeah. So the last performer is, again, like we talked about right off the top. I was blown away by Hannah Wicklund by like a factor of 20. And then it happened again at the end with Zach Person. There were elements to it that were just different. He's a blues artist who is a guitarist and then a drummer, and that's it.
Right.
And so
is a duo, correct.
And so that has pieces to it that are, it's him on display. but the more that became the fabric of the evening, it just got better and better and better. And so I'm going to play a song here, and then we're going to close out with him. So we're going to play actually 2 by him right before we finish. But my goodness, again, like when you just talk about like top guitarists or whatever, I just keep getting more added to the list that I'm tired of even trying to figure out who would be the best. There's just a layer of which that when you're that good, you just want to stop the world and watch that person perform.
Yeah, the word best is unnecessary at that point in time. It's what makes you feel something.
Yep.
And that to me is the value in that whole thing.
Yeah. And also this song is just a beautiful song, so check out Wanna Fly by Zach Person.
My stumble, my cry, may live or may die. My name or my friend, when this is gonna end. Saints let me go, wanna fly, but I'm sure there's still a chance to win the valley.
So to me, Zach Person is like if you took a little bit of Prince and a little bit of Gary Clark Jr. and put them into one person.
Yeah, I do not disagree with that assessment. There's a Jimi Hendrix sprinkle that comes across all those, though all modern electric guitarists have.
Sure.
And if you don't sound like Jimi Hendrix, it's because you're intentionally not trying to sound like Jimi Hendrix. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you.
Right.
Like it's he was on. Was in a Resortium, right? He was in one of your picks, wasn't
yes.
he?
Yeah.
So I mean, for the sake of argument, it lived up to your
100%,
hype. Yeah,
absolutely.
So
I think that he for a one guitarist and then like a drummer who's like a backup, like he's just support to fill the Levitt stage is really saying something.
It's an extraordinarily challenging task. So
I've seen trios not fill it.
Yeah, for the context, the Levitt stage that he's referring to, you and I saw Nathaniel Ratcliffe there.
Yeah.
With the Night Sweats.
Yes.
3,000 people there.
Correct. Probably more, but yeah.
That's how. Yeah. Well, we won't talk about that because of the fire code. But that's how big the stage is.
Correct.
It is a substantial stage. We've seen
Young the Giant. Like
we saw Young the Giant. I've seen a 9-piece string section play on that stage, and they were fantastic. But there's all this space. Like, this is a substantial stage.
He did not look small on that stage, and that is a massive, massive stage.
Agreed. You know what? I'll be honest. Do you know what vibe I get when he's playing his rhythm parts? Only when he's playing his rhythm parts. There is an AC/DC vibe that is happening with that. There is a Malcolm Young vibe. I'm gonna deep dive that one for everybody there. So
well done.
I don't mean that exclusively that he's like an AC/DC guy, because I know AC/DC fans don't come at me, but it is.
You know what? Come at us.
Right.
We'll take it.
Sure. All of Australia. Let's go for it.
But so we're gonna wrap up here instead of our like normal closing music. Zach, we're gonna play one more song by him because I was so impressed. He also. Basically, I was doing the This Way video for Instagram, and he stepped forward.
That's portrait.
He stepped forward and ripped an entire solo. I think for me, like not for me, but like, oh, you're recording? Watch this. So he played to the camera, and then so it's an absolutely super cool video. So it's the only one we're gonna play that's that portrait style, but it's so worth it because it's fun. It's a great song. It's a song called Remnants. But anyway, before we play that, and that's what we'll just play out, any other like elements of Musikfest you wanted to chat about, like mention, like so for example, NextFavBands for me were definitely Hannah and Zach, Drew and the Blue, Damn Tall Buildings. Like for me, those were the four that stood out above everything else. short of who I already knew. Obviously,
Right. So let's put aside.
Blair, Mike Maines, all those blew me away again, but I already knew it.
Let's put aside prior interviews for
Yes.
the sake of simplicity.
Exactly. Sure.
You were not available to see Melt.
Right.
They were fantastic. I
That's
mean,
all I've heard.
I
Yep.
cannot emphasize this enough. During the Exordium, Patrick and I were both talking about Melt.
Yep.
Their new album comes out in September. If you're in September of 2024, if you're catching this, like it is, like they've already taken my money.
Sure.
Like it's that kind of good.
So good.
Off the top of my head, I actually the Draculas.
Yes.
They were super exciting to me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it was one of those like I literally said to you afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, that was good.
Yes.
Like
it was one of those ones where it was like, oh, we got 30-ish minutes.
Yeah.
Let's just grab a beer, grab food, chat, catch up, and all of a sudden we're like, wait.
This is right. Right. And that's
I'm
great.
sorry, I lost everything you just said because I'm listening to this
Right.
amazing music.
This is too good.
Yeah, exactly. Agreed. 1000%.
I want an opportunity, if given it, to see Techie again. I only saw a little bit because it was pouring rain.
Pouring down rain on the main with no
outside
tent.
in mud, and I did my best.
Yes.
But there's only so much
There's
raindrops.
bands like that, Melt, Teke. Obviously, we lost Fantastic Cat because they got completely washed out. The hope is that we are able to bring back those bands in the rest of the year.
Yeah,
I'm crossing my fingers and wish casting that one. Like Arts Quest, let's bring them as bands back because either not everybody got to see it, or weather impacted it, or all of the above. You know.
Yeah, you have a bunch of stages. Let's use them.
Let's use them, and let's bring back these original artists. So even if not, I know Fantastic Cat's playing nearby in November and December. Oh, and by the way, they agreed to an interview, so they'll be on the show in November.
Plug.
A little bit of a drop there. So tons of great music, but those are the ones that I was most happy with. And again, thrilled that many of them are already kind of coordinated and set up to come on the show. So here's one other plug. Give us a subscribe or a like or a follow either on YouTube or on your podcast channel of choice, or on the social media. Instagram is a good place to kind of follow us as well because we put out some of our concert content. So we were posting pictures and videos from the shows on there before coming here tonight. So hopefully you're liking the content, and if you do, let us know. If there's bands we missed, if maybe you caught your favorite band
we had
that we
to miss
didn't even
something.
mention,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah,
It's too big of a festival.
Yeah.
There's 530 performances. We did not see all of them.
Phil saw 500.
No, I think I counted it up. It was like 53. But
10%.
Yeah.
That's actually an amazingly human feat if you all do the math, folks.
and not cocaine induced. I'm going on the record for that one. But let's close out the show here with Zach Person. He was that good, and again, you're gonna love this solo, and he was super fun for putting it out in front of us. So enjoy Remnants by Zach Person. See you in September for Archive and many, many other awesome interviews. We'll talk to you soon, and see you at a live show.